We're here at the Ebbetts Pass trailhead for a hike to Noble Lake. A little smoke in the air, but hopefully it won't be too bad, and we'll be heading right out that way. And we're going to hike in a very unusual way. We'll time warp back to September 1993 and see how the Carson Iceberg Wilderness looked 29 years ago. Our route is south-southeast along the Pacific Crest Trail above Noble Canyon. And above Noble Canyon to the east of us sits Silver Peak and Highland Peak, both in the neighborhood of 11,000 feet. And then the head of Noble Canyon, the direction we're going. Labor Day weekend, and there's still lots of wildflowers. And thunderstorms over the disaster, or rather Highland Peak area above Ebbetts Pass. At least that's the weather forecast, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, it's beginning to look like that's a good forecast. Labor Day weekend, and there's still snow at 8,400 feet. We've neared the top of Noble Canyon. At the bottom of the screen you can see the zigzaggy switchbacks of the Pacific Crest Trail. That's what we've just come up. In the far distance to the northeast, you can see the partly cloud-enshrouded jagged ridge of Raymond Peak. And then looking up towards Lake Tahoe, in the far distance, you can see the peaks above South Lake Tahoe, Friel Peak. Our route continues up towards the top of Noble Canyon. We've reached Noble Lake. Asa Pass is up, trail to that saddle. We're not going to go that way just yet. There's a side trail here. That side trail goes to Bull Lake and the Wolf Creek Trail. If you follow that far enough, you can actually loop around the back side of the mountain, go to Asa Lake, and come back down the Asa Lake Trail. Let's follow this for a little ways. Here we go over the top of the crest of the pass into the Wolf Creek drainage with Bull Run Lake somewhere down below. Looking north up Wolf Creek Canyon, and now a pan towards the east at the canyon below. And we're heading south, soon to join the Wolf Creek Canyon Trail. We're on the cutoff trail from Bull Canyon to Wolf Canyon. Here's our junction with the Big Wolf Creek Horse Trail, and off we go. And we're up to Asa Lake. A view back towards the northeast, down Wolf Creek Canyon. Think of our trail today as a giant inverted lollipop. The stem or handle of the lollipop points due north. We started at the top of that, at Ebbetts Pass. We moved down the stem to the top of the lollipop loop, which would have been Noble Lake. We then proceeded to circle the lollipop clockwise by going east down Bull Canyon. Then we went south up Wolf Creek Canyon. We are now going west up towards Asa Lake, and from Asa Lake we'll rejoin the PCT for the trip north back to the top of the lollipop, and from there follow the PCT back to Ebbetts Pass. We're about a little over halfway through the whole loop right now. Well, we've reached the meadow just below Wolf Creek Pass. We're looking due west right now. This big flat meadow is Wolf Creek Pass. We've come up the Wolf Creek Trail. Now we're going to go north on the Pacific Crest Trail. This is a view south on the PCT, looking back towards Wolf Creek Pass, which is maybe 200 yards ahead, and then down towards what I believe is Arnott Peak. Looking east, the meadow we just saw below Wolf Creek Pass on the Wolf Creek Pass Trail, and then looking north, our Pacific Crest Trail. Asa Lake. And now the grand panorama of the central Carson Iceberg Wilderness. Looking west towards the Highland Lakes and beyond them, Arolla and Iceberg Peaks. Panning south, we see almost 10,000 foot Hiram Mountain. Upper Gardner Meadow with cattle down in the bottom of it. Canyons that lead south towards Sonora Pass. And finally, looking almost due south, Arnott Peak, 10,000 feet tall. One of the Highland Lakes, looking southwest. And there's our goal, Saddle, leading into Upper Noble Canyon. Again, a view to the southwest of the Highland Lakes, the peaks from left to right, Hiram, a sharp pointed pyramid that you can just barely see is either Iceberg or Arolla, and then over on the far left, on the far right rather, the big blocky flat-topped one, that's the Dardanelles. Well, we've just about reached the saddle. That's looking southeast, right down the crest of the Sierra, and you can see the Sonora Pass and Sonora Peak region, Stanislaus Peak, 11,000 feet way down by Sonora Pass. Looking more due south, Arnott Peak, Wolf Creek Pass, Gardner Meadows, Hiram Peak, the Highland Lakes down towards Arolla, Iceberg, and the Dardanelles, but our course is northward on PCT and right over the pass into Noble Canyon. As you can tell, it's quite windy. Not too cool today. It's about 95 in Sacramento. Into this little gap in the gate. We crossed over the watershed. And now we look down into Noble Canyon towards Silver Peak with Noble Lake below it. While we didn't have any thunderstorms, there's a big one that seems to have just brewed up over to the east, but it's not affecting us here. If you recall the lollipop analogy to our hike, we just about closed the lollipop. We'll close it right there at the base of Highland Peak, and then we'll follow the 4-mile stem of the lollipop past Noble Lake, below Silver Peak, down Noble Canyon over to Ebbetts Pass. Ebbetts Pass is right around the corner between here and that far peak, which is Raymond Peak. And we've made it back to the parking lot where the year is 2022 and our trip is done.